I have a message for you, but before my message, I have a joke, of course. And because this is no joke. We are 1 week away from Pesach. It's only 1 week. So that reminded me of this story of this guy who went to talk to his boss. I said, boss, I have to ask you something very special. Next week is Passover, and my wife asked me to ask you to give me a week off so I can help her to clean up the house for Passover. And the boss says, well, I understand next week is Passover, but you can't do this to me. No, I cannot give you a week off because we are short-handed and we need you. And the man said, thank you, boss. I knew I could count on you. So I want to talk to you today about the right season. I could also call it the wrong season. I guess it's the same. And you will see in a minute why. You could call this sermon either the right season or the wrong season. And this is because I realize that we all have things that we wish they come to pass, right? Sometimes we want our health to improve. We want to meet the right person sometimes. Or we want a difficulty to go away. And we are waiting for that. And for one reason or another, it doesn't happen. And it affects us. Sometimes we suffer because we want something to happen that it doesn't happen. Or it doesn't happen right away. That generates in us feelings of sadness, bitterness, anger, sometimes resentment. And we know that they are all negative feelings that at the end of the day, most of the time, whenever we develop those feelings, all what we are doing is to push things away or away. Negative feelings make things more difficult for them to happen. But then I realized that beyond that there are many things that is not that they are not going to happen. It's just that we are not going through the right season. That there are certain things that happened at the right moment and at the right season. There is a famous verse from the book of Ecclesiastes. You may even remember Ecclesiastes chapter 3, that it says, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven. So Ecclesiastes reminds us that there is a season and there is a purpose for every season. And sometimes it doesn't matter what we do, we cannot speed up a season to happen. I can give you a few examples. All you have to do sometimes is look through the window, right? We have this beautiful pool in the backyard. And my son, he's desperate to go and swim. But I said, no, you can't. It's not the right season. If you go now and you try to swim now, not only you're not going to enjoy a nice swim, you're going to get sick. Because all you have there is ice and snow. So you cannot do it right now. And doesn't matter how angry you get, doesn't matter how upset you get, you still cannot do it. Because you have to learn to wait. And when the season is right, you're going to have the time of your life. So then I realized that we have to learn, before anything else in life, that sometimes there is a good time to do something and a bad time to do something. There is a good season or the right season and the wrong season to do things. Why am I telling you this before Pesach? Because the more I read it, the more I understand why. The very first mitzvah, the very first commandment that God gave to the Israelites was to create a calendar. A calendar that is based on seasons. Because these Israelites that they were getting out of Egypt, they need to realize that all those dreams that they have, all those goals that they have, they were promised the promised land. They were promised the Torah. But everything was going to happen at the right season. And sometimes you will see, if you keep reading the Torah, that whenever they didn't understand this principle, they suffer. because they left Egypt with the "we want it now" mentality. And little by little, they had to understand that if you have an "I want it now" mentality, it's not a good advice to go through lives. Because things take time, and many things, they have the right season to happen. And that's why the very first thing that we have to learn as we approach Pesach is to understand that for everything there is a season, and that's why we have the calendar. Pesach is the time for our freedom. But more than a freedom, the way that we read it is Pesach is Yetziat Mitzrayim. Is the, you see, it's not that we are fully free yet. We simply left Egypt. But what is Egypt? What is Mitzrayim? Mitzrayim comes from the word narrow. You probably know a similar word to Mitzrayim that is tsures. You know the word tsures? That's when we feel, something is wrong and we feel trapped. That's what is Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is everything that is limiting us. So it's great when we can finally leave that place where we feel limited, when we feel that we cannot grow, when we feel that we cannot fulfill our purpose. It's great to leave that place behind. But immediately after, when we leave that place behind, the first thing we have to learn is to be patient. We need to understand that great things are waiting for us, but we have to get rid of that "I want it now" mentality. Once we go into Pesach, there is a beautiful, beautiful prayer. In fact, last week, Leslie and I led this interfaith Seder. And with lots of non-Jewish people in the floor. And I had an opportunity while they were eating. I went to the tables and I was talking to them. And one of the tables, they were very curious. They were always saying, "Hey, Rabbi, why didn't you explain this? What does that mean?" One of the people asked me, "Rabbi, what is your favorite part of the Haggadah?" You can think about that too. What is your favorite part of the Haggadah? But I was saying my favorite part is the Dayenu. Year after year, and I say this in my Sedarim as well. The Dayenu. Why the Dayenu? Because it's a prayer and a song that is teaching us to be patient and to be thankful for what we have today. You see, the Dayenu said, if we only left Egypt, but we didn't receive the Torah, we are still thankful. If we only got the Torah, but we didn't get the Shabbat, we're still thankful. And if we only get the Shabbat, but we still don't have the promised land, we are still thankful. How can you say that? If you know that we left Egypt to receive the Torah and to enter the promised land and to celebrate Shabbat, how can you say that is enough and we are thankful for only that? Because I believe that what is teaching us is not that it's never going to happen. It's not happening right now. And if it's not happening right now, maybe there is a reason for that. Maybe we are not ready yet. But we need to learn to be thankful for what we have today, knowing that tomorrow we are going to be one step closer to that season that we are waiting for. And whenever we are reaching to that season, of course, life is not going to be perfect. We still are going to be missing many other things. But we are thankful today because we know that the next season is awaiting us there in the future. So, in this season of freedom, my message for all of you is to prepare ourselves to be in charge of our time, but also to understand that the "I want it now" mentality rarely works. The best thing what we can learn is to enjoy the season we are today, knowing that a better season is awaiting for us tomorrow. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, and I hope you're going to be helping at home to clean. I hope so. Don't use your boss as an excuse. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.